Hello everyone. In the last video, we spent a lot of time discussing the column and the bar chart. In this video, I want to talk about the line chart. So that we would like to create is a line chart that looks like this with a few formatting and analytics options enabled in it. So let's come back to our Power BI file. We'll make a line chart. As before, in the line chart, I will add my order date on the x-axis and the sales in the y-axis. I'm going to make this a little larger, and in formatting, general effects, add a border and a shadow like this. And we will drill up till we come to the month level like this. Now, the first thing that I want to do is to add a forecast. So I go to the analytics button and you notice there are many more options here compared to the column chart. The column chart only gave us two options. One is to add a constant line. The other one was for error bars, but here there are many other options available. So first I'll select my x-axis constant line, and we can add a line, and the line would be on a specific date. So let us say that you ran a campaign and you want to see what change has the campaign had on your sales. So we can have a date here. So I'm selecting, let us say, the 1st of January 2021 like this. So you notice a line appears here. We can also shade the area either before or after, and I'm going to make it into a gray color with a little bit of transparency like this. We can also add a data label so we can see the date here. Let me change the color into black, and the line can also become black in color like this. So this looks great. We also want to add a line similar to how we did with the column chart on the y-axis. So here also I will select y-axis, add line, and maybe I want to add a line at, let's say, 750. So I will add a line at 750,000 like this. Let me go to the quarter level. That's better. And here also we will change the color, add the data label, and change the color one more time like this. What about the forecast? Very simple. I can just go to the forecast option. Now do keep in mind that the forecast in Power BI is not that powerful. In fact, the options that we have here are very limited. But you do have integration with both R and Python. So if you want to do forecasting with neural networks and other features, you can always use the R and Python visualization. But the inbuilt one is just going to be a simple exponential smoothing. Here we go. That's a line chart, everyone. I want to make a copy. So duplicate it. And next I want to show you how to convert this into stepped. So it's a line chart, but it looks a little different. Let me explain how that works. Let's call this line 2. First, I want to remove my constant lines. We don't want that. So let's remove the X and the Y line. We also don't want the forecast. Let's remove that as well. And now I go to format, and I'm going to put in my zoom slider. That's one. And in my lines, I'm going to select the stepped option like this. There's nothing better or worse about it. It's just a variation on the typical line chart. Now we can also add our segment in the legend. So we get 3 of these like this. And of course, the zoom slider allows you to zoom in and zoom out like this. So it looks great. Of course, there are many other options here. Some options that I really like are markers and data label. In addition to the data label, you can also put a series label. So you can see the name of the segment here next to the line like this. Of course, you can change the colors as well. Finally, I want to show you the line, the area, and the stacked area chart. So let's duplicate. Let's call this line 03. First, I want to remove my markers. And I would also like to remove the series label. Let me remove the zoom slider. Let's convert it back into a non-stepped line chart like this. So this is one option which we see right now. And if I can copy and paste it, we have another option here, which is to convert this into the area chart. Exactly the same. The only difference is that the area under the line will be shaded. In my opinion, it looks a lot better than the line chart. And the third and the final option we have is a slight variation. This is called the stacked area chart. Now, be careful when you're trying to understand what it does. So what it is doing is it is putting the consumer segment at the bottom because that's the highest business segment. And then above that, it is keeping the corporate and then the home office. So what does it mean when I say that this point is coming at about 5.5, right? This means that it is the addition of these three numbers, 277, 167, and 110. So the stacked area is similar to the stacked line chart. So all the three segments are stacked one above the other. So they look similar, but they are quite different. This compares the trend line. This actually stacks it one above the other, like this. All right, so that's about it. That's what we have done in the line chart and the area chart. One final one that I would like to show you is how we can combine two things. Let's say a line and a column. For example, imagine that I want to show the sales and the profit together. So we have our y-axis and a secondary y. Now, this would be one way of doing it, and there's nothing wrong with it. You notice that one primary y-axis shows you the sales, the secondary shows you the profit. So this is one way of doing it, which I'll keep here. And then there's another way of doing it, which is to keep one of them as the column and the other one as the line. So I'll select my line and column chart. The only addition you have to make here is we go to format and ensure that we are adding a secondary y-axis like this. Both are the same. In my opinion, the one on the right makes much more sense because if I was comparing two segments, then the one on the left makes sense. I can compare the two lines. But here I'm actually comparing two variables, the sales and the profit, and not just comparing, but looking at the correlation. So I think the one on the right looks a lot better than the one on the left. But then you have so many options with you. Keep on experimenting and try and see which one is the one that you feel is the best one for your data.